Welcome learners. The title of the today's module is Distances in Graph. Today we are going to learn about distances in graph, and the most significant feature is a graph can be used to model the street system of a town. We assume that here the decision has been made by the town to build its own firehouse. We now have another question: where in the town should we build it? The main reason for building the firehouse is to protect all the citizens from the fire. The answer to our question concerns distances in the town and therefore distances in the graph as well. First, we shall learn the definition of distance in graph. Definition: in a connected graph G, the distance from a vertex U to a vertex V is the length of the shortest UV path in G, and we denote this distance by d of u comma v. If there exists no path joining the vertices u and v, then the distance is assumed to be infinity. So, the distance that we define now is considered to be a distance between any points in a graph. So, do you think that distance is form a metric? Let us think for 15 seconds. And the answer is yes, that distance satisfies all the metric conditions. The first condition is d of u comma v greater than or equal to 0 for all u v, and d of u comma v is equal to 0 if and only if u is equal to v. So, this first condition is satisfied by our distance, and the second condition d of u comma v is same as d of v comma u for all u comma v, that is symmetric property. And third one, d of u comma v is less than or equal to d of u comma w plus d of w comma v for all u v w. So, this condition is also satisfied by our distance, and this is called as triangle inequality. Hence, the distance that we define on a graph is a metric, and therefore, v of g together with the distance metric forms a metric space. Let us see the definition of eccentricity of a graph. For a given vertex v of a connected graph, the eccentricity of v denoted by E of v is defined to be the greatest distance from v to any other vertex, that is E of v is equal to maximum taken over x, that is belong to v of g, of d of v of x. Next, let us see the definition of radius of a graph. The definition says, in a connected graph G, the radius of G, which is denoted by rad of G or rad of G, is the value of the smallest eccentricity. Let us see the definition of diameter of a graph. The diameter of a graph G denoted by diam, that is diam of G, is the value of the greatest eccentricity. Let us see the definition of center of a graph. The center of the graph G is a set of vertices such that E of v is equal to rad of G, that is eccentricity should be equal to radius of G. Let us see the definition of periphery of a graph. The periphery of a graph G is the set of vertices u such that eccentricity of u is equal to diameter of G. Next, let us see the definition of self-centered graph. If every vertex of G is a central vertex, then center of G is equal to G and G is called self-centered. Let us see a remark now. So, if G is a self-centered graph, then radius of G is same as diameter of G. Now, we have seen the definition of distance, radius, eccentricity, center of a graph and periphery of a graph. Let us learn by visualizing with an example. So, here I am having a graph G. For this graph, I am going to find eccentricity of each and every vertices as well as radius of G, diameter of G, center of G and periphery of G. Okay, first find. Consider this vertex A first. So, I am going to find eccentricity of this vertex A. So, eccentricity by definition, it is the maximum of distances from all other vertices to A. So, consider this. So, distance from A to B is 1, and if you consider distance from A to C, that is also 1. So, consider distance from A to E, that is 1, 2. So, here when I speak about eccentricity, I am interested in finding the maximum distance. So, the maximum distance is 5 that I am getting from, if I consider the distance between A to K or A to N, the distance is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, the maximum distance I can get from the vertex A is 5, that is eccentricity of A is 5. Similarly, I have found out all eccentricity of all other vertices, that is eccentricity of B is 4, eccentricity of 3, E is 3, eccentricity of H is 5, eccentricity of K is 6. So, consider this kth vertex, we will find eccentricity of this kth vertex now. So, eccentricity means we have to find the maximum distance. So, here the distance from K to H is 1 and the distance from K to I is 2 and the distance from K to L is 1, K to N is 2, K to M is 2 again, K to J is 1, 2, 3 and then you have to find the distance between K to F, that is 1, 2, 3 and the maximum distance I am getting from if I find the distance from between K to C, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and this is the shortest path between C to K. So, distance between K to C is 6 and this is the maximum distance from the vertex K, which means the eccentricity of K is 6. So, now we have found eccentricity of all vertices here. We are going to find the radius of G, radius of the graph G. So, radius is a number and the definition says radius is the minimum of eccentricities. Okay, so here listen, so out of these eccentricities I have written eccentricities next to the vertices. We have to pick up the minimum of it and the minimum is 3. So, radius of G is 3 and the diameter of G according to the definition it is the maximum eccentricities. So, maximum eccentricity is 6, you can see here I am having 6 and 6 is the maximum. So, diameter is 6 and center of G, periphery of G definitions we already seen. Center of G is a set of all vertices where the eccentricity of that vertex is equal to radius of G. So, here we are going to collect the vertices whose eccentricity matches with the radius. So, here the radius is 3 and I am going to collect vertices whose eccentricity is 3. So, E has eccentricity 3, G has eccentricity as 3 and no other vertex is of eccentricity 3. So, center of G is a set consists of only 2 elements, that is E and G. Next, we will find the set periphery of G. Periphery of G is a set of all vertices where the eccentricity of that vertex matches with the diameter of G. So, here diameter of G is 6, I am going to collect the vertices of diameter 6. Okay, so here this eccentricity is 6, that is eccentricity 6. Here the eccentricity is 6 and here also the eccentricity is 6. So, it M, what about M? N is also eccentricity as 6, C is also has 6 as eccentricity. So, it is a set consists of 4 elements C, K, M, N. So, for this graph we have found out eccentricities of all the vertices and from out of the eccentricities we are able to find radius of this graph and diameter of this graph. So, once you found out the radius and diameter of G, you can easily get the center of G as well as periphery of G. We have seen the definition of self-centered graph. A self-centered graph is a graph in which center of G coincides with G, that is vertices of G. Okay, consider this cycle C phi and this is a self-centered graph. Perhaps every cycle is a self-centered graph. We will see here this is a cycle C phi and we will be finding the eccentricity of all the vertices here. Eccentricity is the maximum distance from a vertex. So, here consider A and the maximum distance is 2, that is our distance from A to B is 1, distance from A to C is 2 and if we consider the distance between A to D is again 2. So, the maximum distance from A is 2 and the same holds good for all other vertices also. So, eccentricity of all the vertices here is 2. So, if the eccentricity of all the vertices are equal and the maximum value and the minimum value will be the one and the same. So, here the maximum value is 2 and what are we going to do? We are going to collect the, that is here radius is 2, diameter is 2. when you speak about center of G, you are going to collect all the vertices whose eccentricity matches with radius. So, that will eventually contain all the vertices here A, B, C, D, E. This is nothing but V of G. So, here my center of G is same as G, which means this graph G is a self-centered graph. C5 is a self-centered graph, perhaps Cn is a self-centered graph. At times, we need to visualize a graph by considering the distance from a particular vertex in order to make the process of finding eccentricity so simple. Here we have seen a graph where we found out the eccentricity of all the vertices. If you find that process is so difficult, you can go for the method that I am going to do now. That is, I am going to redraw a graph considering a distance from a particular vertex. So, here I am having a graph H. I have redrawn this graph considering the distance from the vertex T. So, what I did was I collected the vertex of same distance. So, here you consider u and x, and if you consider the distance from T to u, that is 1 here, and if you consider the distance from T to x, that is also 1. So, here the distance of T comma u, that is d of T comma u is 1, as well as d of T comma x is also 1. So, the first level I collected the distances of vertices to be 1. Coming to the second level, that is q, r, v, y, you can guess the distance will be higher than the one that we already considered. So, consider distance from T to q. So, if you consider distance from T to q, that is 2. So, here the distance is 2, and if you consider the distance from T to r, that is also 2. That is, you can go like this, T to u and u to r, that is also 2. And what about the distance from T to v? What's your guess? Yes, it is also 2. That is 1, 2. And the distance from T to y is also 2. You can go like this, 1, 2. Okay, so here I have collected the vertices whose distance from T is 2. And the next level, you can easily guess the distance of these vertices from the vertex T will be higher than 2. So, if you consider the distance from T to S, it is, I can go like this, 1, 2, 3. So, distance here is 3, and the distance from T to W is also 3, and the distance from T to Z is also 3. So, the bottom level I have collected the vertices whose distance from the vertex T is 3. So, by drawing like this, you can easily find the eccentricity of a particular vertex T. So, if you want to find eccentricity of another vertex, you have to redraw the graph considering the distance from that vertex. We learnt about eccentricities, radius and center of G by visualizing with an example. So, here we are going to deal with some theorems that relates eccentricities and distances, radius, the concept that we already studied here. Okay, the first theorem states for any connected graph G, radius of G is less than or equal to diameter of G, that is less than or equal to 2 times radius of G. So, here we are going to prove this particular inequality. First, consider the first part, that is radius of G is less than or equal to diameter of G. What do you think about this? Isn't it obvious? Yes, it is obvious, because when we consider radius, we will be considering the minimum eccentricities, whereas in diameter we will be going for maximum eccentricities. So, obviously radius of G is less than or equal to diameter of G here. So, it is enough if we prove the second part alone, that is diameter of G less than or equal to 2 times radius of G. So, we are going to prove diameter of G less than or equal to 2 times radius of G. For that, I am going to consider a vertex, that is I am going to take a vertex u belong to V of G such that eccentricity of u is equal to diameter of G, which means that eccentricity of u here is equal to diameter of G, that imply me u has the maximum eccentricity here. So, let it be that, and then if this condition holds, I can find a vertex V in V of G such that distance between the u that I consider comma V is equal to diameter of G. So, this condition I am having here. What I am going to do is I am going to consider another vertex from center of G. So, C belong to center of G. That tells me eccentricity of C will be the minimum. So, here we have eccentricity as minimum. consider diameter of G that is equal to d of u comma v. So, here d is a metric that we already know. So, which means it satisfies triangle inequality, right. So, by applying that is less than or equal to d of u comma c plus d of c comma v. So, consider this. So, what about distance between u comma c? That will be less than or equal to eccentricity of c. So, because when you consider eccentricity, you will consider the maximum distance, right. So, that is less than or equal to eccentricity of c plus eccentricity of c, and that is will be getting diameter of G less than or equal to 2 times eccentricity of c. And what do you know about c? C is the center. That means eccentricity of c is equal to radius of G, as c belong to center of G. So, instead of this eccentricity of c, I am going to write radius of G. That tells me diameter of G is less than or equal to 2 times radius of G. Hence, we prove the second part also. Which means for any connected graph G, radius of G is less than or equal to diameter of G is less than or equal to 2 times radius of G. So, now we will prove the next theorem, and that theorem tells for every two adjacent vertices u and v in a connected graph G, modulus of E of u minus E of v is less than or equal to 1. So, we are going to prove here. This is true for every two adjacent vertices in a connected graph. Okay, so since u and v are adjacent, the distance between u and v is equal to 1. So, I have written the first line here, d of u comma v is equal to 1. So, with all generality, I am going to assume eccentricity of u is greater than or equal to eccentricity of v, and I am going to consider an vertex in v of G, that is x belong to v of G, such that distance from u comma x, that is distance from u to x, is equal to eccentricity of u. Here I am considering a vertex x. So, if we consider E of u, that will be equal to d of u comma x. Again, d is a metric. By using triangle inequality, I can write that is less than or equal to d of u comma v plus d of v comma x. And what about d of u comma v? D of u comma v is equal to 1 because u and v are adjacent. I substituted that, and d of v comma x is equal to, actually that will be less than or equal to E of v. So, E of u is less than or equal to 1 plus E of v, that I have written here. Consider E of u minus E of v. So, E of u minus E of v will be less than or equal to 1. Obviously, 0 is less than or equal to E of u minus E of v, that is less than or equal to 1. So, if you consider the modulus, that is also less than or equal to 1 here. So, why am I considering modulus here? So, suppose this inequality that is does not hold, that is if E of v is less than that is E of u less than E of v, then I will be getting minus sign, right. So, in order to avoid that, so together I can write modulus of E of u minus E of v less than or equal to 1. So, let us see another theorem. That theorem tells every graph is the center of some graph, that is every graph is isomorphic to a center of some graph. So, we are going to prove this. For this, we are going to consider a graph first. So, let G be a graph, and we are going to construct another graph H, so that the graph that we consider will be a center of that graph. So, we are going to construct another graph. I am going to name that as H by adding vertices W, X, Y, Z to G. So, I am adding 4 new vertices G, and these lines I am adding here, that is the line W, X and Y, Z together with the lines X, A, where A belong to V of G, and Y, B, where B belong to V of G. Here, what I am actually doing is, I am adding 4 vertices and I am making W, X and Y, Z as adjacent. Here you can see. So, I am making W, X as adjacent and Y, Z as adjacent. And another thing I am doing, I am making all the vertices to be adjacent with X as well as Y. So, you can see here all the vertices in G are adjacent with X as well as Y. So, now consider eccentricity of W. So, eccentricity of W will be the longest distance, that is 4 here, that is from W to Z will be having 4, and eccentricity of Z is also 4, eccentricity of Y and eccentricity of X is equal to 3. So, consider eccentricity of V for every vertex V in G. So, if we consider eccentricity of V, as per the definition, eccentricity is the maximum distance. So, what I am going to do is, so consider some V here. So, U is also in V of G, that is I am considering another vertex V, U. So, if V and U are adjacent to each other, then the distance from V to U is 1, right. So, what happens if V and U are not adjacent? So, here what I did, actually I made every vertex to be adjacent with x as well as with y. So, here there will be x that is adjacent with V as well as with u. So, I can go to u by using this path v2x x2u. So, here the distance is 2 and my eccentricity of the vertex is also 2. You can see from his diagram also. So, eccentricity of every vertex in V of g is equal to 2 and that is the minimum eccentricity. And when we speak about center, we will be collecting the vertices which has minimum eccentricity. So, here all the vertices in G will have the minimum eccentricity, that is 2, and the center of my new graph H is G, the old graph that we already had. So, here G is the center of H. So, we proved that G is the center of some graph and hence the theorem is proved. Every graph is the center of some graph or every graph is isomorphic to a center of some graph. Let us see another theorem. A graph G is isomorphic to the periphery of some graph if and only if either every vertex has eccentricity 1 or no vertex has eccentricity 1. We shall prove the theorem now. Suppose that every vertex of G has eccentricity 1, then the graph G is complete and every vertex of G is in the periphery. Thus, G itself is the periphery. On the other hand, suppose that no vertex of G has eccentricity 1, then for every vertex u of G, there exists some vertex v of G such that uv does not belong to E of G, that is u is not adjacent to V. Now, let us construct a new graph H by adding a new vertex W to G together with the edges Wx where x belong to V of G. Since W is adjacent to every vertex of G, the eccentricity of W is 1 in H. Further, since no vertex of G is adjacent to every other vertex in G and every vertex in G is adjacent to the vertex W, the eccentricity of x in H is 2. Thus, the periphery of H is the vertices of G. Conversely, let us assume that G has some vertices of eccentricity 1 and some vertices of eccentricity greater than 1. Suppose that G forms the periphery of some graph, say H, since the eccentricity of the vertices in G are not all the same, V of G must be a proper subset of V of H. Thus, H is not the periphery of itself and diameter of H greater than or equal to 2. Let V be a vertex of G whose eccentricity in G is 1. Hence, V is therefore adjacent to all vertices of G. Since V belong to V of G and since G is the periphery of H, there exists a vertex W in H such that d of V comma W is equal to diameter of H, that is greater than or equal to 2. Thus, the vertex W is also a peripheral vertex and therefore, it must be in G. This contradicts the fact that V is adjacent to every other vertex in G. Hence, either every vertex has eccentricity 1 or no vertex has eccentricity 1. We shall see the next theorem, that is due to Jordan, that describes the center of a tree. The center of a tree is either K1 or K2. We shall see the proof now. The result holds obviously for trees of order less than 3, that is for K1 or K2. Now, let us consider a tree with at least 3 vertices. Then, T has at least 2 pentane vertices of degree 1 and for any vertex u, a vertex V is at maximum distance from u only when V is a pentane vertex. And so, deletion of any pentane vertex from the tree leaves all distances between remaining vertices unchanged. Now, delete all pentane vertices from the tree and denote the resulting tree by T1. The eccentricity of each vertex in T1 is exactly 1 less than that of T. Hence, both the trees T and T1 have the same center. we repeat the procedure as many times as possible. We obtain a sequence of trees T1, T2, T3 and so on. Finally, we obtain either K2 or K1, that is the center of T. We shall see another theorem that is also due to Jordan that describes the center of T again. The theorem states, if G is a simple graph, then diameter of G greater than or equal to 3 implies that diameter of G complement is less than or equal to 3. We shall see the proof now. When diameter of G is greater than 2, there exist non-adjacent vertices, let it be U and V, belong to V of G with no common neighbor. Hence, every vertex x belong to V of G minus U comma V, that is except U and V, as at least one of U, V as a common neighbor or non-neighbor. This makes x adjacent in G complement to at least one of U comma V. Since also U, V belong to E of G complement, for every pair of x, y, there is an x, y path of length at most 3 in G complement through the set U comma V. Hence, diameter of G complement is less than or equal to 3. We can refer this theorem by visualizing with the diagram that will be displayed on the screen. Conclusion. Dear learners, now we are at the end of this session. In this module, we learnt about distances, eccentricity, radius, center, periphery of a particular graph G. We learned some theorems relating those concepts that we studied, and the application of this concept is very significant in today's world. I would encourage you to refer some more text related to this concept and do quizzes and assignments which is given in the module. Thank you so much.